sword. Sorry, I've got to sit down. I'm the last of 11, so I'm talking about.
Thank you, Auntie Kath. I just realised I know so many people here, but there's some people who don't know who I am. I'm Diane Hiles. I've worked for 2 years in Jamie's electorate office, dealing with the problems that Auntie Kath just alluded to there, the public housing issues day in, day out. Glebe is a very special suburb. It's got such diversity, but because of the proximity to the city, it's under real threat from so many angles. And so many people are doing so much to conserve the character of this suburb. And this afternoon is a celebration of one of the initiatives, one of the community initiatives that Auntie Kath referred to, that's doing its best to fight off, in particular, the threats from development and the changes in the New South Wales planning laws, which are going to put so much at risk that we cherish in this area. So, one of the groups that's done a lot is Hands Off Glebe, and I'm sure he doesn't need any introduction, but Dennis is going to speak to you for a few minutes just to go through the campaign as to what the Glebe Grapevine is fitting in with the other broader issues that we've got. Right, Dennis.
Thank you, Kath, for that wonderful welcome to country. You may be surprised to know that in 1944, the Commonwealth Government said this: a dwelling of good standard and equipment is not only the need but the right of every citizen. And that's the basis on which we're working, that it is a right for every citizen to be properly housed and sheltered. And we don't take a backward step on that. Housing, Hands Off Glebe doesn't take a backward step off that, from that. When we were, feels like the umpteenth time at council, and Clover Moore got exasperated with us, and she said, look, you people, you've got to realise this is not Singapore, this is not Denmark where housing is important. You know, and that was the point where this is the point that we're trying to drill into the council. That the point is that we have to change it. We have to be more like Denmark rather than like the United States, where people are left living in their cars and living, if they're sick, they're left at the doors of the hospital. This is the point of what we're saying. If you walk through this suburb, you'll see attempts by the government from the 40s, the 50s and earlier. It's like a living textbook of different schemes where the government provided housing. And what we say to people is that public housing is not charity. It's subsidised housing. The mining companies are subsidised. They get a diesel subsidy. The car companies get a subsidy. And nobody calls them terrible names. And the people who are in this estate and are in Glebe are valuable people of Glebe. And that's what we're saying. This is the point of what we're saying. That it's important that this whole suburb works together to make this a great suburb. And we're calling ourselves Hands Off Glebe. If you imagine it as a square, in this corner of Glebe, we're fighting 87 Bay Street with about 11 or 13 stories. On that corner is Harold Park with another 8 or 9 stories. Soon all our suburb will be 8 or 9 stories, unless we step out and step up and run the sort of things that we're trying to do. And that's what we're on about in Hands Off Glebe. We say on our website, we're for protecting and extending public housing. We're also for protecting the historic urban landscape of Glebe. And there's a lot of threats to that. And we've used every sort of campaign that you can think of. We've sent Barry O'Farrell Christmas cards with the demolition on it. We've had petitions, we've had this, we've had that. We sent them this film. We sent every politician in the New South Wales Parliament. We sent them this film. We got 2 or 3 replies. We got a reply from the leader of the opposition, who said it was a great community initiative, and switched me on to Sophie Coates, who I've had a conversation with, and who is threatening to come down and see what the problem is, but hasn't arrived yet. So, and then of course we got the message from Prue Goward, which was very cranky, and that was the sum total of the response from our politicians. And sorry.
Who is Sophie Costas again?
Sophie Costas is Shadow Minister for Housing.
She's the Shadow Minister for Housing. She's in Housing in New South Wales.
So that's been our campaign to first of all, we started at Cowper Street, and we keep banging on at the council about it. They're completely frustrated about it, but the Glebe Society and ourselves keep saying you keep missing the point. It's alienation of public land, and everyone should be jumping up and down about it. They're alienating well over about 50% of it or more to the private market in the middle of a housing crisis, and this is what we're saying. I think that, and I just want to thank you all for being here, and thanks for all the messages of support we've had over the last few weeks. A couple of little sort of victories where we've had fences fixed up, we've had leaks in the. Apparently, this woman told me that they had a leak in her street for 12 years. We kept ringing the minister's office. She kept saying, no, ring up housing. He said, no, we're ringing you. It's been 12 years, and so on. So, and there's also, you remember that article about the hanging gardens of Glebe, where all this stuff was growing out of the drain pipes? Well, apparently there's 40 houses now throughout this area that are being repaired. But it's too little too late. But this is the sort of, community action, united, the whole suburb, whether you're private or a tenant, together to look after the community. So thank you for being here, and thank you for coming to help us launch. Thank you.
Thanks, Dennis. The Glebe Grapevine has had 3 editions so far, and we distributed